Crazy. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, you guys, let's take film classes together. I'm serious, Patrick. I have lots of ideas. I want to publish my book and make a film.
Come on, Zoe. You've been talking about that book of yours for years.
And I have it all written down right here, see?
Yeah, keep on dreaming.
Well, if I never dream, I'll never accomplish anything.
That's true.
Give me a break. I've heard it all, Sawyer. My family has enough with Auschwitz. I grew up on stories of my grandfather being taken out of our ghetto to a Nazi camp. So don't think I don't understand.
But you don't. You can't. This is about what white people did to black people during slavery and still are doing today.
Oh, how about loving white people for a change?
How about loving Hitler for a change?
What I really want to do is send love to him as a human being, forgive, or at least try, to heal that part of history. And it's the same for me. I'm not telling myself the same thing about slavery.
Like the person who hates the Mexican immigrants? How can I like the person who's, wants to build a wall? So, well, if you can't see the humanity in the person who wants to build the wall, how do you expect them to see the humanity in the supposed Mexican on the other side of the wall?
Hi everyone, welcome to day number 01, the final video from Jasmine's perspective. We managed to funnel 15 years into 15 minutes. We award ourselves an Oscar just for this. The objective today is to bring more clarification to this collective and decentralized project. Time to go back in time, one last time. 2005, May. Jasmine goes over her sci-fi screenplay she's been working on since childhood about kids who come from another planet to share love on Earth. She tries to think about how to incorporate this into her non-duality expert university. Rod Light comes to visit and sees a painting on the floor. He flips it 180 degrees, which was the way that Jasmine originally painted it. Astonished, he asks, "Where did you get this?" Jasmine replies, "Oh, I painted that." Rod Light says he loves it as he recognizes. 2005, summer. Jasmine feels she is not alone and can come out of her box instead of giving lectures to her toys. Jasmine books her grid lines class for the New Life Expo in October. Jasmine starts drawing her mathematical view of love as a 0 point on a graph which includes both plus and minus and tries to figure out how she can put it in words that non-mathematicians can understand. 2005, August. Jasmine takes a break and goes to Six Flags to have some fun with her friends and neighbors' kids. 2005, September. Jasmine starts preparing for her non-duality October class. She searches on Google for different Indigo communities online. She finds there is a new Indigo Evolution film coming up in January. She then discovers Elijah's website where he uses plus and minus in his name and who also stars in the film. She calls him and they both openly communicate their pluses and minuses. In addition to sharing with each other their personal and collective visions, they also relate even more with their mutual non-duality views of the world. Jasmine is very happy. Jasmine then calls her friend Joyce Lee and asks her to draw love in traditional Chinese as she wants to convey love as a universal concept for her class. October 2005. Jasmine gives her 3 presentations at New Life Expo and Meta Center. She uses cotton wool to create a visual representation of how she sees the world as non-duality and its connection to love. Jasmine further explains that everything is interconnected via invisible grid lines, like what string theory explains in theoretical physics. She invites everyone who feels to send love through these invisible grid lines. Once she finishes explaining, Jasmine faces many questions from people that she knows the answers to in her mind, but doesn't know how to explain in words. At this point, she realizes she needs a team to fill the missing pieces. October 28, 2005. Jasmine feels fulfilled after sharing the knowledge she's been holding inside herself her entire life. She feels the need to go on a journey and doesn't want anything to weigh her down or hold her back. So, she sends an email to all her friends that she is symbolically selling her possessions for 1 cent. Jasmine purchases a one-way ticket to South Africa to figure out where her place is in the world. She speaks with Elijah again, and he says that he feels South Africa very strongly. Elijah shares that he sees glimpses of Jasmine energetically clearing the pathway there. He also said that he's going off the grid to swim with dolphins and write down his view of the collective vision. Jasmine accepts her role as a pathfinder and goes to the United Nations with her soul sister Lerato Rapu from South Africa. They go to support the book signing of Ahmed Kathrada, who spent time in jail with Nelson Mandela on Robben Island next to Cape Town. November 5th, 2005. Elijah sends an email with his personal and collective vision as well as a list of personal abundance needs. He asks who says yes to the vision, which among them Jasmine, Nikita, and Cornflower all replied, yes. After seeing these yeses, Jasmine decides to create an open communication meetup and conference call on 11/11/2005 at her place. November 11th, 2005. A few people came to Jasmine's apartment, including Beth from Maryland, who openly identified as an indigo. Those on the global conference call included Celia Fenn from Cape Town, South Africa, Aurora from Brooklyn, New York, as well as others. Jasmine feels she gathered her tribe and felt safe. She began sharing transparently her minus in life like she did with Elijah, as well as holding the space for others to do the same. Once everyone flushed their system, the trust in each other grew exponentially and transformed the energy into an empowering plus. This paved the way for some special moments that followed, including Celia directing positive energy from South Africa to New York and Aurora seeing visible light in her room in Brooklyn. Aurora's cats simultaneously started purring very loud and acting very affectionate and energetic. 2005, December. Jasmine travels to South Africa to her family's house. She spends the whole month of December locked in a room doing nothing but writing her sci-fi screenplay and her visions about a new educational system. Early January 2006. Jasmine calls Ian McFarlane from Medispa in Cape Town. She asks if she can volunteer by sending emails and spreading the word for the Indigo Evolution film screening where Elijah will be starring in. Ian is happy to hear that. End of January 2006. Jasmine flies to Cape Town with her family. When she arrives, Jasmine plays with her cousins and feels very happy with a homey feeling. End of January 2006, Cape Town. Jasmine comes to the Medispa and Michael DeWitt introduces her to Ross Johnson, who plays music, which she likes very much. Ross tells her about the marimba class he teaches, where he uses the energy of the African drum beat in order to support participants to relate. This makes them feel safe so they can add their own rhythms of energy and sound to raise the vibrations and harmonize with each other. Jasmine feels very safe at the Medispa and while listening to Ross's song, remembers her own personal vision of a new type of educational system. She writes down that what she wants is to create a safe space for all children around the world to feel, to communicate their feelings, and learn without tests or exams. She calls it Indigo School. She also wants to support the collective vision that Elijah wrote in November, including his abundance needs. She shares both visions with Michael DeWitt, the manager of Medispa, who prints it out on double-sided papers as flyers to be passed out after the movie screening. Ian McFarlane suggests using the word rainbow because Archbishop Desmond Tutu coined South Africa as the Rainbow Nation, which was further elaborated by President Nelson Mandela. So Jasmine accepts her role as a secretary in addition to the Pathfinder and changes the name to Indigo Rainbow Schools. They also agreed to meet again on February 20th, 2005 at the same place. January 29th, 2006. Indigo Evolution is screened. After the movie, Jasmine passed around the flyers and communicated with the audience that on one side is the collective vision that Elijah, the star of the Indigo Evolution film, wrote down. And on the other side is her vision of the new educational system with no authority or exams. Then Val Toledo gets up and throws a ball at Jasmine and tells her, why don't you make an option for kids who still want to pass exams and go to a traditional university like my son? Jasmine throws the ball right back saying, that is your vision and what you want, so why don't you write down your vision and we can invite others to do the same? Val says yes, she will write a new curriculum. One thing leads to another, with many wanting to play and share their own individual visions. February 1st, 2006. By the speed of light, only 3 days later, Val Toledo sends Jasmine her new alternative curriculum and vision for her son and many others struggling in school. Other people also began sending their visions. As there were many visions other than education, Jasmine emails Elijah with her feelings to change the name to Indigo Rainbow Communities. She also shares with him an idea to print a compilation book to support the Cape Town community. Soon after, someone suggested changing the name to Indigo Rainbow Circle. Jasmine compiled the first wave of entries that came in and prints them. February 14th, 2006. Jasmine's family drives her to the Nelson Mandela Foundation, where she hands a copy to the security guard. The following day, she receives an email from Bui Sishuba, the Nelson Mandela Communications Coordinator, acknowledging the package. February 17th, 2006. Robin introduces Jasmine to the new conscious social network ZADS that also wants to change the world for the better, and Obi invites Jasmine and Robin for beta testing. February 18th, 2006. Robin offers Jasmine to stay at her place in preparation for the February 20th meeting, and they spend the weekend talking about energetic grid lines and sending universal love to the ocean and other places. February 20th, 2006. Everyone gathers at the Medi Spa in Cape Town. Jasmine sets up her energetic grid lines in the room using cotton wool, and Robin explains the concept and answers questions better than Jasmine can. Those who were physically present included Robin Bridget Liebenberg, Val Toledo, Ian McFarlane, Erica Cohen, Michael DeWitt, Celeste Santos, Ian A. McDonald, Raven Roberts, Renee, Jay Carson, and others. Ian also set up a conference call which included Joyce Lee from New York, Andrew Peterson, and Peter Ray from London, Elijah, who calls from Australia at 4 a.m., and Ryan and Sandy Malagara from Maine. Together, they agree to publish all their writings in a book format. Jasmine volunteers to make it print-ready and gives up her royalty rights so there is no conflict of interest and that everyone can be equal in the book. As the book royalty must go somewhere, she started taking suggestions from the group to decide where it will go. Some people suggested Elijah, Jasmine suggested Ryan Malgara, and someone else suggested Noah, a charity for orphans in South Africa. Even though Jasmine didn't want anything to do with nonprofit organizations for her own personal reasons at the time, she also didn't want to abuse the power since she took the responsibility to put the book together. She then sets up a voting poll on her educational website for everyone to have a say. Noah ended up having the majority of the votes. The vision is also spoken of as this book platform being the first level of making the world a better place through sharing visions, ideas, and open communication. The second level is about our puzzle pieces teaming up, making a plan, and taking action. February 24th, 2006. Jasmine flies back to New York. Once she arrives, she first takes a few days off and goes with her friend's kids to play at the playground and have fun. After hearing some of the kids' stories while playing regarding education, she then interviews her friend's daughter, who feels the teacher is not listening to her and that she's not understood. She then interviews her neighbor's son, whose parents were very concerned as their son was depressed. Jasmine spoke with him, and after opening up and communicating, he went from sharing his anger to being relieved after finally having an outlet to share his frustrations. Jasmine interviewed a few more kids and teenagers who all shared and revealed that they all felt unsupported at school. March 7, 2006. Jasmine reflects that just a few days earlier, the kids were so happy at the playground, and once the school subject came up, they completely changed. She makes a personal commitment to the universe to make an educational system where kids are free like at Summerhill. She realizes she needs a bigger team to accomplish that, so she writes an invite for anyone to submit their visions of making the world a better place. She sets a deadline for the 15th of March to receive all the writings and put everything together in a book format by March 31st and submit to the publishing company so the book can be published on April 30th. She then emails the invite to more than 200 of her friends from many different countries around the world and tells them that if they feel inspired, they can also invite their friends to submit their writings to jlavelti@yahoo.com as well. March 31st, 2006. Jasmine prints a sample copy and submits a PDF to the publisher. April 3rd, 2006. Jasmine unexpectedly receives a rejection from the Barnes & Noble iUniverse publishing company because she didn't read terms and conditions about all the entries needing to be edited with perfect English. She wonders why she wasn't taught these things at school. Jasmine began getting flooded not only from the late entries of people she invited, but the friends of those people who wanted to join too. She ended up with over 3,000 unread emails from 29 different countries around the world, as to her surprise, her original invitation went viral. April 30th, 2006. Jasmine invites all her friends and everyone from the project to decentralize communication from her Yahoo email and to join Zads so they can get to know each other and communicate directly among themselves. Robin and Jasmine start getting to know many new people who also want to change the world and make it a better place. They became friends with Obi Uberman, Michael Strong, Brian Johnson, Peggy J. Starr, Sammy Samaretta, Joseph Fickelson, Camille Van Gestel, Bert Kempner, Rod Runch, Pam Singh, Zadzi, Mu, Radenko Kostic, and many others. Jasmine continues to figure out the legal procedure to publish the uncensored and unedited book with everyone listed as authors. She does this while being active on Zads with Robin. Two Zads members, Kelly Cookson and Eric Stitt, meet offline and made their first Zanga poster. This inspires Robin and Jasmine to make Zangas all over the world. With the support of Brian Johnson and the Zad staff, they create over 50 pods/forum topics for each country. They invite people from Zads to organize local meetups with fellow Zadsters in person. August 2006. Robin includes pictures from all the meetups around the world in her second Rainbow Chronicles edition. October 2006. Jasmine goes off the grid to the Bosnian pyramids and meets Radenko Kostic from Zads. When she comes back online and reads messages on Zads, she realizes she created chaos because she didn't think she needed to report to anyone that she would be offline. To make it up, she starts sharing love like she was doing since she joined Zads, and she gets a threatening message from the Zads staff that unless she stops, they will delete her account due to spamming everyone with love. As this was her only way of communication, for the greater good of everyone, Jasmine became silent and wondered if people have changed, or maybe she just entered a parallel reality after going to the pyramids. November 2006. Jasmine and Robin together begin researching how to establish a nonprofit organization in South Africa so they can have their own safe space and collectively make their own rules. Through the challenging process, Jasmine wonders why she wasn't taught useful things like this in school. It soon became too complicated for both Robin and Jasmine after much energy and time was spent researching legal paperwork. They decide it's best to put that on the shelf, at least for South Africa, and instead focus on their artistic strengths. Jasmine draws her vision of a village and then receives a message from Robin saying she had a dream about the village. They exchange their drawings and Jasmine emails the artist Chris Bars asking him to illustrate a combination of these images, and he does. 2007, August. Zads.com online community is acquired by Gaia Inc., and the name is officially changed to Gaia.com. After many people left Gaia and joined different social networking sites like Facebook, High5, Twitter, and Plurk, Jasmine joins these as well to continue updating everyone about the project. September 2007. Robin comes from South Africa to visit Jasmine in New York, where they go to John Lennon's Peace Memorial in Central Park. Afterward, they drive their bikes around Manhattan, and then go to Times Square to do free hugs inspired by one man who started the movement in Sydney, Australia in 2004. 2008, May. The name is changed again to Golden Rainbow Villages to help hold the energy of the vision. April 2009. All legal adventures are done, and the book can finally be launched. Jasmine prints a sample test book and calls Muriel Stockdale. They set up an official book signing event on July 7, 2009 at her club. Jasmine sends an invite to everyone with a deadline for the final changes of the book. Little did she know she would not be able to make all the changes in time. Jasmine arrives at the book signing with a sample copy, but didn't showcase all the pages in order to protect those who requested not to show anyone their 3-year-old pictures. Regardless, it became a successful networking event and mini market at Muriel's Clubhouse with Alan Steinfeld, Joyce Lee and Chris Berry, Ghislaine Belazaire, Gary Spolansky, John Barilla, Muriel Stockdale's Kitty Cats, Daryl Munford, and others selling their products and services. March 2010. The Gaia.com community completely closes down with 2 weeks' notice for everyone to save sometimes years of their content. Most people then flock to Facebook. Zad/Gaia was her only home, and the central hub of her communication with the Golden Rainbow Villages network. Facing how much she doesn't know and how the world works, Jasmine retreats to nature to reflect on her life. She remembers the vision of her film about children coming from another planet to share love on Earth, and is looking back on how she ended up putting her own visions aside to carry other people's visions. All she wanted to do was to share love on Earth through her new educational system. She realizes she needs more support and decides to reconnect with some people in person. 2010, August. She meets with Sarah and Maya McGrath in Seattle, Washington, then travels to Mount Shasta to meet with her friend Vena and Peggy. From there, she flies to Los Angeles to meet Elijah to see if she can speak with him about the project. He introduces her to his friend and business partner, Jay Frankenberger. Attending Elijah's concert, she witnesses how hard he works packing all his music equipment into his car because he needs to travel to his next destination. Afterwards, Jay and Jasmine spend 6 hours talking at the IHOP by the airport waiting for Jasmine's flight back to New York. They 100% align with all aspects of the collective visions, especially with a priority for a physical base to operate from, which neither of them have. October 2010. Jasmine visits the Little Kingdom in Venice Beach, where Justin Feldman, Nathaniel Solis, Maximus Light, Anna Moore, and Wayne Hoover live. Michael Fireborn and Laura Chiraya Fox come to visit as well. Laura Fox first shares her vision. Then Jasmine shares that they have similar visions and communicates that she spoke with Jay Frankenberger in August about the Golden Rainbow Villages project, which developed from the collective vision that Elijah originally wrote. They told her that they knew Elijah and that he actually stayed at the Little Kingdom before. Jasmine is happy that she sees an example of a safe spiritual co-working community in the real world and invites them to join hands as she tells them, "We are stronger together." November 2010. Jasmine later visits Daniel Krieger's Conscious Studios in Santa Monica, where Luminaries were recording their first album with Jay Brave, Chris Davich, and others. She sees another example of an active co-working community. This helps her to hold the vision of similar spaces being legally opened all over the world where teams work together to hold and manifest the vision in reality. December 2010. Jasmine calls her friend Lily Chan in New York and asks her to fly to Los Angeles to help her make a short version of her sci-fi film so she can include in the Golden Rainbow Villages DVD compilation. She titles it Crystal Aliens. They get a cast and crew together, and Jasmine explains to the cast that they need to in tune with their own heart as the film is about kids from another planet who come to Earth to share love. They film most of the scenes on Venice Beach and Topanga Mountain. Additional cast and crew included Cassidy Stone, Diana Lee Ireland, Annette Algoso, Cedric L. Williams Jr., Eagle Spirit Peter Hansen, Linda Ivory's daughter, Spirit Diam, Tanya, and Triana Melendez. January 2nd, 2011. Jasmine needs a few more scenes and calls her friend Rocky Samarano in Northern California. He tells her that he knows some people that could be interviewed for GRV, as well as act in the Crystal Aliens movie. Rocky introduces Jasmine to his friend Nicholas. After an instant connection and inspiring conversations together, Nicholas and Jasmine realize they both share almost identical visions and join forces to finish Golden Rainbow Villages and create a physical base together to support their own, as well as the visions of many others. Nicholas, his mom, Carolyn, and Jasmine travel to Berkeley to meet with Cassidy from the LA cast to film a few more scenes. Jasmine tells Nicholas that she wants to make this Crystal Alien film into a trilogy and shares the synopsis and concept of going from darkness to puzzles to light. Feeling inspired, Nicholas writes a script treatment for all 3 films of the trilogy. Nicholas starts researching legal requirements to anchor the project as an official entity. He explains to Jasmine that each person part of the project has a unique puzzle piece or strength, and that piece must be connected in the team so we can cover all our bases and complete the picture. Jasmine says that they are aligned as the original vision from South Africa was to create a second project called Golden Rainbow Puzzles. They call Chris Bars in Brazil and ask him to create another village with characters holding pieces of puzzles. May 2011. They travel to and live in Mount Shasta, where they meet Haruko Sasaki at a street fair and highly connect with her and her artwork. Jasmine introduces Nicholas to Jay Frankenberger, who comes to visit. Nicholas, Jay, and Jasmine speak all night, sharing their life experiences as well as harmonizing and aligning the visions of a new world. They agree 100% that the priority is a physical space. Nicholas and Jasmine searched to rent a space in Mount Shasta to open a raw vegan cafe and educational space, but could not find anything available. 2012. They call their friends in South Africa and join hands together to open the first raw vegan restaurant on the African continent. They host many people including Craig de Gouveia and Michael Tullinger. 2013, November. Nicholas and Jasmine learn that Noah for Orphan Kids in South Africa is permanently closing where royalty from Golden Rainbow Villages is supposed to go. They fly to Cape Town and meet with Val Toledo, who tells them she has a registered nonprofit in South Africa called ABC for Life that helps impoverished kids with education. Since it's somewhat similar, she says they can send the royalty to her nonprofit project. Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu visited and blessed the project. 2013, December. Nelson Madiba Mandela, a world symbol for freedom and equality, passes away. Nicholas and Jasmine gather a group of volunteers at 4 a.m. to film a homage to Madiba. They synchronistically meet Trevor Tutu in an elevator who shares his Ubuntu energy that his dad Desmond Tutu popularized. They spend all evening exchanging ideas and visions. Trevor also shares about his current project of providing education and land to the local people to plant organic vegetables and selling extra to Spar supermarkets. Nicholas and Jasmine share that it would be fantastic if something like Trevor's program can be duplicated to alleviate poverty all over the world. Realizing that the only way they can work in the system is to develop an alternative one, Jasmine and Nicholas discuss creating an alternative currency for the network to facilitate exchange within the community. A few days later, they meet with Harun Kola, a cryptocurrency expert, and speak about how they can sustainably implement an alternative currency within the network. 2014, January. They are very excited and go to a bank to ask for funding. The bankers tell them that the non-profit funds are reserved for others in need. She tells them that this project is for everyone that needs support. He tells her that they should go back to where they came from to seek funding. Jasmine goes to the beach to contemplate that she does not have a place to go as she is a refugee. She tells Nicholas that she wants to insert herself into the Crystal Alien film trilogy as a character that wants to learn how to live on planet Earth. Jasmine's friends Joyce Lee Berry and Lily Change come from the USA to help her film some scenes of how she can share love on Earth without going in circles like a washing machine. She also thinks about the free children of Summerhill. 2015. Jasmine and Nicholas decide to travel to the UK to Summerhill School. Jasmine's dream come true and interview Zoe, daughter and Henry, grandson of A.S. Neil, the founder of Summerhill. Henry also shows them the Summerhill recording studio. Nicholas and Jasmine see this as a beautiful example of another safe space to freely cultivate creativity. Next, they travel to London to see if they can join hands with or start their own non-profit so they can legally complete Golden Rainbow Villages. While they are waiting regarding the non-profit, they decide to test print their own books. They felt the Ubuntu philosophy they spoke about with Trevor Tutu, which is all about humanity helping each other cross the bridge together. So they asked their friends if they are also interested to write and publish their personal books, including a concept book, Getting to Know Me in 5 Minutes, so everyone can support each other in the process. Some of the people who were interested in book writing included Peter Hansen, Sibusiso Sitebe, Lillian Change, Jordan Jomo Molotsky, Tabang Poperashaba, Makita Bernard, Mornay Venter, Sarah McGrath, John Zhang, Walter Paul Bavarian, T.K. Atkinson, Yesenia Santos, Liliana Mescavich, and Chef Rara Kana Yael Rothberg Julie. They enjoyed getting to know everyone a little bit more and felt they would really love to do this all day long for free. They searched if there is a nonprofit that exists that could support this project, but couldn't find any. Early 2016, Jasmine and Nicholas traveled to the United Nations in Geneva to find out more information about creating a nonprofit and attaining the proper resources. June 2016. After their research, they officially start a nonprofit in Switzerland. They call their friend Rob Garcia for advice and information on how to run a nonprofit like his successful Connection Works. March 2017. The first temporary board of directors is being sought and communication started. This included a list of new name suggestions for the umbrella nonprofit that will support Golden Rainbow Villages and many other projects from the network. Some of the people who set aside time to communicate were Sebastian Lindstrom, Tom Jordan, Ruth Salvesberg, Craig de Gouveia, Ghislaine Belazaire, Muriel Stockdale, Sophie, Vicky, Thomas, and Geraldine Perlmutter-Haas, Bert Kempner, Joel Johannesson and Sandra Bologna, Evan Cornell and Freya Duplessis, Juan Mann, Vanya and Amia Dropshin, Tatiana Popov, Nicholas and Jasmine, and Jovan Dropshin. This also included Shreya Laura Fox, Rani Natarayan, Vanya Gutic, Sonia Nowak, Rajesh Korup, Rod Wunsch, Nicholas Esteban, McCartney Guesthouse, Carolyn Radcliffe, and Micha. May 2017. Val calls Nicholas and Jasmine and tells them that because of political problems in the area, her ABC for Life program in Cape Town lost funding. With many kids depending on the program, they decide to film a short documentary to help save the project. Ruth Salvesberg, a local board member they met in Switzerland, volunteers to travel with them to South Africa. Val organized a small student film crew to assist in filming and editing with Joseph Abraham, Damon Bendel, and Jesse Betancourt. Craig de Gouveia comes to support as well. It was such a great feeling receiving so much love from these children, many of whom only have one meal a day provided by the school and still manage to have a smile on their face. July 2017. The footage is edited, completed, and the film is shown at fundraisers where ABC successfully raises enough funds to save the project. 2019. After 2 years of the pieces lining up, Jasmine and Nicholas take time off to complete the project in 21 days and ask friends for support via 12 different platforms. This includes live phone calls, 4 different Facebook accounts, 2 WhatsApps, 1 Viber, and 4 email accounts.
At least if we wake up to this, the rat race that we've bought into, then we can start to say, well, what can I start to do differently? And then you realize, well, there's nothing I can do, but if I turn to the others, maybe there's something we can do.
Hey!
Is that the film you made?
Yes, she finally completed something in her life.
I know the feeling. Well, what's it about?
It's about building bridges between all the ghettos of the world.
We're not building bridges. Bridges are there. We're discovering them.